Seamless Summer Option Training Part 1. USDA State Agency Requirement. USDA requires state agencies to capture attendance for annual training. At the end of the SSO Part 2 webinar, please click on the QR code to complete a brief survey to certify your participation in the Seamless Summer Option webinar. SSO provides meals for children during the summer in eligible areas in NSLP schools only. It's less paperwork than SFSP, and it follows the same meal pattern as NSLP. Our topics for SSO Part 1 and Part 2 trainings consist of area eligibility, non-congregate options, and SSO guidance. Area eligibility. School-free or reduced price eligibility data can be used to determine area eligibility. It can be used for SFSP and SSO, excluding camps. School attendance area. For a site to be determined area eligible, school data must indicate that the proposed meal site is in the attendance area of a school where at least 50% of the children are eligible for free or reduced price school meals. You can determine if your site is area eligible by clicking on the link provided for the Area Eligibility Census Data Mapper. Now, school data will be the free and reduced school data as of October 2024. If your summer meal service site is greater than or equal to 50% free and reduced eligibility based on October 2024 data, it is area eligible. School food authorities that participate in CEP may use their CEP data for the site using the direct certification percentage times the 1.6 multiplier. Or school food authorities may use the link provided below to access ALSDE Fall Free Lunch 2024 to 2025 report to determine if the site is area eligible. Area eligibility for CEP participating sponsors. SFAs can use the DC percentage for each site and multiply that DC percentage by the 1.6 multiplier, and that should determine if they're area eligible. If the DC percentage is greater than or equal to 31.25%, then the free and reduced percentage will be greater than or equal to 50%. As a note, a CEP school must use direct certification data from the base year. This is an example of the online application for number 4 that inquires about the free and reduced eligibility percentage. Area eligibility for attendance area. If a school is located within the geographical boundaries of the attendance area of a school where at least 50% of the children are certified eligible for free or reduced school meals, they are deemed area eligible. Attendance area is established by identifying the schools for which a student is zoned. When determining area eligibility of a school site, the percentage of children eligible for free or reduced price school meals at another school in the same attendance area may be used. For an example, if a high school does not have 50% or more of enrolled children eligible for free or reduced price meals, it can look at other schools in the same area to qualify. If a middle school in the same attendance area has 50% or more of enrolled children meeting the free or reduced price meals eligibility criteria, the high school could use the middle school to meet the area eligibility requirements for SSO. This information is also identified in number 4 in the online application. Area eligibility census data. The sponsors must establish the GEO ID code of the school address in the area eligibility mapper in 4B on the online application for SSO, and the free or reduced percentage captured in either the census tract data for either percentages of children 0 to age 18 or 0 to age 12 are eligible for free or reduced meals. This information is captured on number 4 on the online application. The link provided above will give you the area eligibility for the USDA. Now, area eligibility for schools extends for 5 years. Free and reduced eligibility percentage for schools and census data used to establish area eligibility may be utilized for 5 years. Schools only are eligible to operate SSO. Schools may also operate SFSP beginning summer 2021 or approved through summer 2025. If the School Food Authority has sites that were approved using the census tract data for summer 2021, it used to establish area eligibility for summer 2025. Now, before we get to the details of the SSO meal service, let's go over some quick house cleaning rules. Okay? For program year 2025 SSO, once it opens, the SFA's current academic school year ends through June 30th, 2025. If you plan to operate SSO once your school year ends through the end of June, you need to submit the program year 2025 SSO online application with selected operating dates. For program year 2026 SSO, which starts July 1 and runs to the beginning of the new academic school year, you must have an annual agreement completed through NSLP for the school year 25-26. Now, here's an example of the congregate meal service versus the non-congregate meal service. Of course, with congregate meal service, this is basically a food service where meals are provided to children and they must be consumed on site in a supervised setting. Non-congregate meal service is just a food service that provides meals to children to be consumed off-site. To participate in non-congregate meal service, you must be designated as a rural site. The SSO non-congregate meal service facts. Of course, schools have priority over nonprofit sponsors to operate a non-congregate site. The projected level of participation is an important factor in improving a rural site to serve non-congregate meals. Sponsors of non-congregate meal service in rural areas must have a registration process in place to prevent individuals from receiving the same meal service on the same day at more than one site. Schools must use the point of sale system, which allows them to register guests. Other sponsors must have approved procedures in place to maintain a roster and register guests, such as Google Forms. Now, non-congregate meal service in rural areas for SSO. There are two options here to help determine whether or not your site is rural. The USDA's rural designation map can be used to designate the site as rural, as well as a rural pocket in a major metropolitan statistical area. To qualify as a rural pocket, you must have ALSDE and USDA's regional office approval. This slide contains the definition of rural for the SSO non-congregate meal service. There are links provided that will help determine if that site is rural. You can use each site by entering the address or the zip code of the participating site to designate it as rural. The term rural is defined as any area in a county which is not part of a metropolitan statistical area based on the Office of Management and Budget's delineations of metropolitan statistical areas. Any area in a county classified as a non-metropolitan area based on RUC and UIC. Any census tract classified as a non-metropolitan area based on RUCA. Any area of a metropolitan statistical area which is not part of the Census Bureau defined urban area. Any area of a state which is not part of an urban area as determined by the Secretary. Any subsequent substitution or update of the aforementioned classification schemes that federal governing bodies create. Any pocket within a metropolitan statistical area which, at the option of ALSD CNP and with USDA Southeast Regional Office approval, is determined to be rural in character based on other data sources. A sponsor who believes a proposed non-congregate site that is within a metropolitan statistical area should be designated as rural should submit a rationale and documentation to ALSD CNP for USDA Southeast Regional Office consideration. Factors to be considered for the location of the potential non-congregate site. A rural pocket with a population ranging from 2,500 to 49,999 that is not part of a larger labor market or metropolitan area, according to maps provided by the USDA Economic Research Service, has a population of fewer than 2,500 according to the census